Against Hull K.R. Rovers, they've won just one of 4 Super League meetings. Phil Bentham is the referee, the man in the middle of this Engage Super League Saturday night match. And it's going to be Castleford Tigers who will get this game underway. Two sides maybe a little bit low on confidence, but absolutely keen as mustard to pick up the 2 points that are on offer here tonight.
I think it was quite clear, Eddie, as well last week when in the opening 10 minutes, Terry Matheson very disappointed that the Tigers didn't show that Tiger spirit. I think we'll see tonight.
It's a great hanging kickoff from Westerman. It's a wonderful charge as well. And Joel Clinton, welcome to the Super League. That was the first tackle on him. Michael Vella was the man tackled there. Good early tackling here. There is Clinton. He's a one-cap Australian international from Brisbane last week. Almost 200 appearances in the NRL. He began with Penrith and he won a grand final winners ring with them. It's Castleford now, though, with ball in hand for the first time.
And that was an interesting and a high-quality catch there. A lot of people were critical of Sean Ainscough when he was at Wigan, said that he wasn't going under the high ball or taking the kicks downfield. A great start for Sean Ainscough on his lone spell here. Well,
maybe Justin Morgan was one of the people who believed he wasn't very hot under the high ball because the kick was certainly aimed in his direction. But Sean Ainscough, you know, he's got a tremendous record. 17 tries in 12 games for Wigan. And after that blistering start, he never really got a chance after that. He's here to rekindle and resurrect a Super League career. He's come via witness, of course. Oh! Sherman was taken out there by Michael Vella. Surely the touch judge has seen that.
Well, no. Well, was he committed? Ooh, that was very, very high, but I think it was legal. He didn't raise any arms, just used his
It was a body
shoulder, yeah, bang, straight into it. And he's got some back there. Vella takes the ball up. He's had a couple of crunches so far. We thought it was going to be a bit tasty. Look at this. Didn't raise the arms. That's the reason why Phil Bentham got to look at the touch judges just to see. They said he was okay.
Up goes the kick from the boot of Michael Dobson, and Ryan McGoldrick is retreating and pouches the high kick. Well, I tell you what, the opening 2 minutes here, rip-roaring start.
Certainly is more energy than both sides certainly showed last week, and it'll be pleasing for both the coaches. Interesting to see, the Rovers didn't get back on side on that occasion. I mentioned it last night, Eddie, that the referees seem to just say, let's get on with the game these days, no penalties for messing around.
Great run from Hudson, he gets the ball to Evans.
And that's what Terry Matheson wants a little bit more of. Mentioned the fact before the kick-off, he's just let it slip by. It's not a knock-on, went behind.
Rovers, they just waited for a moment then. Here is Shenton, ball to Ferris, wide they go to Wainwright, and Castleford will get in for the first try, and Wainwright takes it almost to behind the posts. Well, Hull K.R. Rovers waited for a knock-on decision, then was never coming. I'm sure they did. The ball went backwards and they all stopped. Castleford didn't, and Wainwright, 80 career tries before tonight, a former Leeds Academy product. He won the Academy Grand Final with the Leeds Rhinos, Michael Wainwright. And that's a tremendous start for the Tigers, just what Terry Matheson would have wanted.
Well, they were very quick out of the blocks. This is the poor pass. Did go backwards, no doubt about that. And then the long pass was superb. Shenton did ever so well, back on the inside. Oh, that was superb play. They were caught out. You cannot just hang about. Pass there from Rangi Chase, then Shenton back on the inside. Oh, that was superb rugby league football. Out of the top draw.
And here's Westerman just a second or so ago. He's missed. Not the best start to Joe Westerman's kicking night. 4-0 though, Castleford.
Both of these teams have really stepped up defensively. It started off at a real frantic pace. You've got to say that the Hull K.R team have got to start a lot stronger. Over the last couple of weeks, that's a big disappointment for for Justin Morgan, who's the Hull K.R coach. They've really got to start controlling the speed of which Castleford are playing the ball.
Kickoff finds Rangi Chase, who slips and sitting down. He pops the ball up, and it was the try scorer, Michael Wainwright. Here comes Jackson now for Castleford. Very soggy in this corner of the field. Hudson, the Castleford captain, almost 250 appearances in his career now. Here is McGoldrick again.
I'm just trying to make that point earlier, Eddie, that Ryan Hudson needs to be a little bit smarter around the play the ball area.
That's a good run, that's a tremendous run, and here is Evans looking for support. It arrives eventually.
Should have come earlier though. Rovers were all at sea with their defence.
Good tackle in the end from Welland though. Up goes the kick off the boot of Rangi Chase. They're after this. Mitchell Sargent's been taken out. Briscoe's dropped it, but it went backwards. And they get away with it because it's with Peter Fox.
Well, an excellent kick because he made Sean Briscoe move such a distance. Obviously, it was moving around and Rovers have survived. Get a penalty in there for Castleford being offside.
Well, they needed that, did the Rovers. Well, they had plenty to choose from, didn't he, Phil Bentham? They wanted to just take off the pressure, and they did that with this penalty.
Dobson dumps the ball into touch. It's Michael Dobson's 50th consecutive appearance, by the way.
And what a great kick it was. It's made good ground. 2 fields on the ball. Coach Justin Morgan made it quite clear yesterday, he was our guest, that there'd be a vast improvement to his side tonight, and that's good work.
Here's Morrell, and Vella will run it in strongly, as he always does. Well, Joel Clinton has been involved early on here in the action. They miss him out this time, find Dobson. He pops it back to Rhys Lovegrove. Good defence from Castleford, but that's only 3 tackles gone. Still plenty in the bank for Rovers. That's a great little run coming in there from Chaz Ianson. Castleford stop him though, 2 metres short. Morrell again on the half volley, picked up by Clint Newton. Here is Dobson, he's seen a hole and gone for it, Dobson. And the Castleford Tigers defence just slams the door in his face. It's the last tackle here for Rovers. It comes back to Ianson again. He'll hoist the kick wide. A little lacking in direction and far, far too strong. And he holds his hand up, Ianson.
Well, the idea was good. And Cocaine tried his damnedest to keep that ball alive, but it was just a touch too strong. Well, a good position, lost away, but full credit to the Tigers. They really did get their defence sorted out. 1 tackle there by this guy, Mitchell Sargent, really rocked them.
Yes, Mitchell Sargent starting tonight, his first start of 2010. He's been used as an impact player off the bench prior to tonight.
And I think it's a smart move by Terry Matheson, because he's a player that he never holds back. He gives it all. And that's what you want, impact early in the game.
Westerman. Well, once the leg is lifted, the tackle is completed. Here's McGoldrick again. Last tackle, though, for Castleford. They're only on halfway. Sherwin with a little dab through, and Evans is after this. Oh, and Ainsko! Soccer skills from Ainsko! Debut try from Sean Ainsko! Sensational. The kick from Sherwin opened the door. Evans appeared to be taken out off the ball. Ainsko didn't hang around worrying about a whistle that never came, and he just dribbled the ball around the last defender, picked it up and over underneath the sticks. Sean Ainsko, he's picking up in Super League in 2010 where he left off last year, albeit in different colours.
Hull K.R coach Justin Morgan will be furious with this. They should have got to that ball. Take nothing away from the kick through from Michael Shenton. But look, there's no cover. Okay, they got the look of the bounce. Ainsko in and out. That's a nice step as well. Surely, you can't miss this.
It's 10-0 to the Castleford Tigers. It's exactly the position they worked themselves into against Warrington when last we were here at the Jungle, and then Warrington came back and won the match.
Well, this is a high-quality finish. 2 last tackle tries. The last one they ran it here, they put the grubber kick through. And I don't know about Michael Maguire wanting to score back in Wigan. Roberto Martinez might need it pretty soon with those skills. Dribbled it around the keeper, puts it between the goals.
Well, 17 tries in 12 for Wigan last year. Then he lost his place, never really got it back, got an injury as well. But he knows his way to the line, Terry.
Well, this is what Hull K.R have got to do. They've not got to try and score every time they get down this end of the park. They've got to try and build some pressure. It's not about getting down there. You've got to get over the line. Just ask the questions and try and word out this Castleford side, because at the minute they're having a field there.
Stuart Jones is on for Brett Ferris, and there is Stuart Jones underneath all that tackling. Just another line about Sean Ainscough. 4 tries in 3 for Widnes in his loan spell. Well, it's not a loan spell, is it? It was a dual registration, wasn't it? Yeah. And I mean, you know, full marks to Castleford, first of all, for asking Wigan about the possibility, and well done, Widnes, for giving him the chance. And here he is again, with Evans just outside him.
Well,
the
Rovers just don't want to tackle.
It's the last one here for Castleford. They're running it. Oh, Rangi Chase has put it down. This could be a turning point. Chazzy Jansen.
Well, they got a little bit overconfident there. They really should have opted for the kick on the last.
Fox with a strong run, halted by Shenton, by Westerman, and Rangi Chase, who came up with the original mistake. Webster gives it to Clint Newton, bounces out of 2 tackles, gets the ball away brilliantly. Webster clawed to the ground by McGoldrick.
Great tackle by the fullback, it had to be as well. Webster was zoning in on the line.
Here's Jansen again, good ball inside. And it was Sherwin with the tackle. Quick play the ball. Dobson. Oh, poor pass. It hits the ground. Newton waits for the support. Morell is there. Dabs it to the in-goal area. It's a pudding of a pitch. The ball goes dead.
Well, they scrambled back, did the Tigers, but this is a break. Great work there. Clint Newton. Then he passed it out. Oh, wonderful stuff.
But again, they get right down there, they get in good field position, and they're looking to score without building any pressure. They've just got to calm down. It's as simple as that.
Joel Clinton's debut in the Super League lasts about 11.5 minutes as he feels his way back to full match fitness, no doubt. Hudson's on the halfway.
Oh, that looked a bit high from Chris Whallam.
Full marks to Steve Snitch, didn't complain about it. Here's Evans again. Plays the ball to Hudson on the last. Shenton again with a crossfield kick. Westerman's after this. Well done, Briscoe.
Eyes on the ball at all time. It's mine. It was a good shout as well. Well, they went for the power play and came up with a knock-on earlier from Rangi Chase. They weren't going to miss the opportunity again. It was a good kick. And look at this defence. They're getting right into the face of the Rovers.
They're a different side, Castleford, with Brent Sherwin in the side, aren't they? Different team altogether.
And I don't know whether it's because this field is 10 metres shorter than the majority of the ones we go to, but you do tend to find end-to-end matches here at the Jungle. Again, it's a fast, high-tempo game in the first 12 minutes. We've had lots of chances, and Castleford, just like Huddersfield last week, have had some joy with the short side, close to a touchline, 10 or 15 metres in. They've managed to go down there. They've already made 1 break, and I expect to see more of that when they get close to the side of the field. Expect them to use that narrow strip of land.
Michael Dobson's kick was far too long, so Rovers will line up 10 metres away from the 20-metre line. Here's Stuart Jones now for Castleford, meeting Vella head-on and being driven back by Morell as well.
Well, the opening start by the Tigers is very encouraging, but when they got to that tap, there was about 4 of the Castleford players just ambling back. They couldn't take the quick tap on the 20 because 2 or 3 of the players are offside.
Well, it's been a breakneck start, and we've had 14 minutes. Castleford building a 10-0 lead again, as I say, just as they did against Warrington a couple of weeks ago. Here is Mitchell Sargent. The big question for Terry Mattison's men tonight is, can they hang on to that lead, and can they build on it, indeed, up to half-time? Ryan Hudson at dummy half. And here's McGoldrick. Well, there was a bump by Dobson, and they keep it going. Castleford, here's Rangi Chase, so important to them. Sherwin and Chase at the heart of everything.
Well, it's like being at a wedding. You want the bride and the groom to be there, and they certainly link in, don't they?
Sherwin's kick again. It's a penalty to Rovers. Sean Ainscough deemed to be offside.
Well, it's quick, but I don't think it's that quick. Only just. But it was well spotted there by Phil Bentham. Boy, if ever the side needed to just control things a little bit more, it's the visitors. And I agree with Terry, they've just got to slow things down, get a little bit of territory, and then apply the pressure. Just solid work in the forwards, that's what they need. They've got the quality there, with especially with Michael Dobson controlling things.
That's good harassing, though, by Castleford in defence. Michael Vella, so important to this Rovers team. Lee Mattison's done his homework. This is Dobson, pops the ball up again. Morrell waits at dummy half. As the ball was played to him by Netherton. A little dab through behind the defence. McGoldrick had to wait for it. Just wouldn't bounce for him.
Nice option and a good chase there by Chris Wellham. Well, you could have selected about 8 of the Rovers who never made any attempt to get back to 10.
Here's a penalty, a relieving penalty for Castleford. Wellham is deemed to have been interfering and not allowing Sean Ainscough to get back to his feet.
Well, he said that he was being held. No, I don't see that. Completely the other way around. I don't know why they try to kid the referees. They're pretty smart, aren't they?
They try and kid us, so...
Did you never try and do that, Steve-O?
Never.
So Castleford coming forward again. They're over halfway on tackle number 2. Ryan Hudson is waiting there, hands on hips. Chase again. Back the ball comes to McGoldrick. Here is Shenton. And Shenton cuts inside one. Can't get away. He can get away from Dobson. Can't get away from Fox.
They're ripping apart out wide.
McGoldrick. Chase.
Play on.
Yes, it was a loose carry by Rangi Chase.
Well, another opportunity just frittered away there.
They might come to rue these opportunities. Gone.
Yep. And that was reefed out. I think Scott Morrell got a hand in that. Either way, got away with it.
Sean Briscoe, 199th career appearance here tonight. He missed the match last week. He was injured against Wigan. That's good defence.
That's quite easy to read that as well, though, Eddie, isn't it? You've got to say that someone else has got to push up on his outside, because that was just a dominating tackle.
Flicked off the head, this. It's going to be play on. And he's wiped the tackle count clean. What might be a contentious decision. Was that obstruction there as well?
Well, he certainly utilised the player. It's deemed there that Steve Snitch has gone for that ball. That's the reason why he wiped the tackle count.
It's Lovegrove for Hull K.R.
Now get in a good position, Rovers, and they've got to dink it into the corner. Even if it goes and they put the scrum down, then they can try to force the error.
Vella will drive it up the middle, but he only got as far as the first tackle from Ryan Hudson. Morrell, Dobson, gives it to Briscoe. Sherwin with the tackle, last one. Coming up, Morrell, Dobson, dabs the ball into the ground. Ainscough picks it up, Dobson gets to him eventually.
Great work. Not only good positioning, but he eluded 2 or 3 would-be defenders. Well, that's better. Always giving penalties.
Well, the referee shouted held,
yep.
and Matt Cook and Scott Morrell continued on with the push and dumped the Castleford Tiger on the floor.
Well, it's a new rule. As soon as that leg goes up, the tackle is completed, and it is so difficult. You know, you're all hyped up. The forwards they're bristling. They want to get involved, and you sort of know you put on a big hit. And talking of big, that is a huge kick downfield.
4 penalties in the match so far. By the way, have you heard the weather forecast for tomorrow for the World Club Challenge? It is going to be a shocker. Wind and rain, and it was like that 2 years ago when Melbourne were in town. They must bring it with them. Let's hope for a similar result, eh?
Let's hope, yeah. And let's hope that the weathermen have got it wrong again, which is quite often.
Shenton fires the pass wide. Here is Wainwright.
Did ever so well, Wainwright there. Looked as though he was going down the cul-de-sac, but just stepped back in tide.
There it is, Leeds Melbourne tomorrow, 6 o'clock, Sky Sports 1, and of course in high definition. And isn't this game good in high definition, by the way?
Sure is. Sherwin, control in.
Chase, Sherwin put it down.
He had it and he knows it.
Well, you have to take a gamble as a centre. Chris Wellham took a massive one. He came in there, he knew he had to put pressure on Sherwin, and the pressure was sufficient to force the error.
He was in as well, Phil. He knew that. He knew it was going to be touch and go. If it would have stuck, he'd have gone over.
Midway through this first half, and I go back to my original point, will Castleford regret the chances that they have put down in the opening 20 minutes?
Well, the three that have just gone away in the last opportunities, they will be furious by it. But Madison will be quite happy with their defence.
Eddie, I don't think so. I think that they've probably, as you said, had 4, possibly 5 chances and converted 2 of them. That's not a bad ratio in rugby league. If you can continue at that rate, you're going to win more games than you lose. And the 2 that they did score were world-class finishes.
Good kick. That's a good kick. Scott Morrell.
Was it a 40-20? It was pretty close. It was.
Oh, yes, it is.
Yeah, it's a cracker. It is a cracker. Well, that could change, couldn't it? They just need field position. There's little doubt about it by the official, Phil Bentham. He said, lift the left arm. Your head and feed.
Well, this is a glorious opportunity for Rovers.
Will Webster take it up? He's moved close to the scrum.
Here is Webster. He almost got away from Shenton. Morrell scheming at dummy half, 10 metres out. Looks for the runner who's arrived. It's Liam Watts. Liam Watts is over the line and is now pushed back the other side of the whitewash. So the tackle count will continue from there. Morrell, good score! Well, Morrell got in with the 40-20 and Morrell thinks he scored. But the referee, Phil Bentham, hands it upstairs to video referee Steve Ganson tonight. And it's up to him. A couple of queries. Morrell with the kick, Morrell with the try, or is it?
Well, the man playing the ball, has he interfered? That's what they're looking at. Liam Watts.
They need to check as well. Does he play it with his foot?
Well, Phil, don't think they're bothering with that.
Putting it down's no problem.
I think you have to check it, Eddie, on a try.
Now watch for the big fella, Liam Watts. Is he utilised as a dummy run?
He's loitering with intent, I suppose.
You've got to say, look at Westerman. Westerman is at first marker. He steps out left.
He never makes any attempt, Terry, does he?
No, that's a try. That's got to be a try. It's a big call.
Well,
watch Westerman. He goes sideways there, Steve.
No, he won't play. He didn't touch it with his foot, Terry, so it won't be given.
I bet you that's not even considered.
I bet you have to walk home if you're wrong.
Okay, all right. We'll see. I'm going in the car. Morrell gets the try.
It's a long walk, Clarkie.
No. Eddie was the one, so confident.
Yes. No problem with that. I'm not going to force you to walk tonight, Phil. You're all right. It was a trip from London you were risking last year, if I remember rightly, but they're never, ever going to disallow a try for not playing the ball correctly when they don't play the ball correctly 9 times out of 10.
You're right, Eddie, because that would be pedantic, and we can't have that, can we? But it all came about by the 40-20. Wonderful stuff. And I'm with you, Eddie. You talk about Castleford controlling this game. It's the first real opportunity that Rovers have had, and they're back in it.
They'll be right back in it if and when Dobson converts this, and they're in it. It's 10-6. Morrell, the 40-20. It's an incredible rule, and doesn't it bring rich rewards?
Yeah, they slipped, and they should have had him.
There has to be a question mark about the man who played the ball, Liam Watts.
He was
loitering with intent.
Yes.
But anyway,
he couldn't get out of the way, though, let's be fair.
Is it loitering when you don't move, or do you have to move? Either way,
I tell you what, Liam Watts has an impact. Do you remember the try he created at Wigan with the offload close to the line?
Yes, an impressive coming off the bench in the last 3 games, actually.
That was for Ben Fisher, the hooker or the dummy half in that role. This one was for Morel. Justin Morgan said at the start of the season he was one to watch, and he's certainly proven to be that.
Good ball that from Jansen. It's Ben Cockayne for Hull K.R, who suddenly have the scent of something here. Then Dobson going for another deep kick. I think he was outside the 40. Doesn't matter anyway. Ainscough keeps hold of that.
But they're applying the pressure, something that they haven't done for 20 minutes in this game until Morel get the 40-20. Then he finishes the try. And the nerves will be going through the minds now, these Tigers, when they should or could have been 20 points in front.
You know what though, Steve? They both had the same amount of possession in one another's halves. I think, well, sometimes, I don't know, I think that Castleford have had all the chances to score. Hull K.R have been down here as well at times.
But I think it's the clean breaks that they realised they were splitting them, were the Tigers, and this has got to be a high one, surely.
Last one here, and it's with Sherwin again. Looking for Evans outside. That's well taken over there. Ben Cockayne.
Good work as well by James Evans. That, you know, it's tempting to try to go for the ball rather than the man, but he just smothered him, shown as Cockayne took that ball. Now the big question is, can the Tigers keep Rovers from getting anywhere near the halfway line? That's good work. That's wonderful running by the full-back, Briscoe.
Briscoe plays the ball. Here is Dobson. And it's Clint Newton. He bounces off Randy Chase. He bounces off Westerman. They both come back for a second effort. Last tackle here. Ben Fisher. Up it goes off the boot. It's a slice, though, from Dobson. It's play on, because Castleford have it back. Sherwin. Nice little spin. Evans. McGoldrick gets the ball away to Randy Chase. Oh, Westerman. Well, I thought he was going to be pinged for obstruction there.
He just run on the outside, not in front.
Liam Higgins. 4 tackles gone. They're inside the 20. Oops, Sherwin, second big error.
Took his eyes off it. Simple, basic error. He was thinking exactly what he was going to do with it. And you could see there, he lifted the head.
For Brent Sherwin, he missed the defeat at Bradford. He was badly missed as well. And 4 Castleford errors, and he has made 2 of them. Hull K.R suddenly are up to speed, aren't they?
Yeah, and it's
back in it.
Yeah, and it's brought about by a quicker play of the ball as well. A lot more eagerness in that department, and they're getting over the advantage line. They're building on the confidence. This has got to be a high one again, surely.
It is high, and it's a tester here for McGoldrick. Ainscoe's there as well. They nearly made a complete mess of that, and Ainscoe's trapped in goal.
Super soft. Fisher came in late just to add that extra bit of weight. That was enough. Great work by Chris Wellham. Cockayne. Well, he's had plenty to do, this fella, Sean Ainscoe.
Well, we talked about the missed chances for Castleford, Steve-O. Look at all of these.
Yep. You've got to take them, Eddie. That was the first knock on, and then, of course, we've just seen one from Tim, and it led to a try there. They took full advantage. And it's a wonderful rule, isn't it, the 40-20, because it can give you a chance to get out of a huge hole. And the Rovers were in that at 10-0 down.
Here's Liam Watts again. And Ben Fisher will come down the right channel. It's Chaz Jansen.
Trying to milk the penalty.
Fisher again. Dobson. Straight into Steve Snitch then. Fisher once more. Back it comes to Jansen. Here is Clint Newton. Now it's Webster. Strong Kiwi Webster gets the ball away to Fox.
Nice offload by the big centre Webster there, but there was plenty of traffic in front of him.
Last one for Rovers. Jansen, the kick towards the in-goal area. Oh, it's a try for Dobson! Castleford let the ball go! And Hawkinston Rovers are level, and Dobson, where on earth did he come from? Is there a tunnel under there? Because Dobson wasn't there a second ago. Boy, he's quick. And Rovers have leveled things up, and it's deja vu for Castleford. They were 10 up against Warrington, and they were clawed back, and Rovers have done exactly the same.
Well, this was very poor positional play. They put the kick through, got in the way of the posts. Evans couldn't do anything about it. Sherwin, he goes across it, and it gets blocked by the post. Good work by Dobson. You little beauty, the Aussie says. Can he put them in front? What a turnaround.
He's bang in front of the posts. Dobson doesn't generally miss these. They've hit Castleford with 12 unanswered points. They lead 12-10. Hull K.R.
Well, it just shows you the opportunity. It was a well-placed kick going in and underneath the post, and when you do that, you've got to make sure you've got numbers back in. And there was only Brent Sherwin there. Terry Madison, the Tigers coach, will be saying, where on earth was Ryan McGoldrick in this department? Nowhere to be seen.
You know, Chaz Jansen is an interesting player to follow, Eddie, and you know, hopefully over the season we'll see him develop. This is a kick that bounces back favourably for Hull K.R. There are very few creative players in rugby league. As the game has developed, we've had big, strong, fast, powerful either runners of the ball, and there are very few players who now still have that rugby ability, the vision necessary to create an opportunity for a teammate. Chaz Jansen is a young British one who might just develop and go on to the higher level.
Well, he gets the nod today at standoff. It has been a problem position for Rovers this season. Justin Morgan has been trying a few new combinations out, and he wanted Paul Cook to become more and more active and involved from loose forward. Played him there, he played Webster there. A standoff. Here's McGoldrick now, that's a great chase.
Certainly was.
And Liam Watts has really shown in the... Webster and Watts now having been penalised for not letting McGoldrick get to his feet. And it might have been a bit high from Watts, but I must say...
certainly was. He should have been penned by the official straight away, but...
Hasn't he had a good start, though, Liam Watts, to Super League this year? Didn't play at all in Super League last year. He was on loan at Gateshead in 2007.
Well, he's such a tall player, isn't he? You know, he creates so much problems, and he attracts defenders like flies to a honeypot.
He also played once upon a time for Castleford. If memory serves, it was against Loch Lane in the Challenge Cup, the local team from round these parts. This is Rangi Chase. Ryan Hudson, the Castleford skipper. Westerman handed on to Liam Higgins. Well, it was 10-all at half-time last time we saw Castleford here against Warrington. It's worse for them this week. There's another one.
Well, this is turning into a nightmare, and Terry Madison will be saying, what on earth is going on out there? Just basic errors.
Well, Terry Matheson, as you say, he'd be scratching his head and wondering. They build nice little leads. They look as though they're flying, and then the opposition's allowed to come back. But, I mean, let's not take anything away from Hull K.R. The 40-20 was brilliant, and the chase from Dobson, we just wouldn't give up. Here's Webster.
And this is what's got Hull K.R. back into the game. Every time they're up in this sort of field position, they just play nice and direct, in and around the ruck, turning the balls back inside, and just asking questions of his Castleford defence.
And the quick play of the ball, and Ben Fisher being out there has certainly aided and abetted in that department. There he is again.
Well, he knows, and that's what he gets to them very, very quickly. Say, come on, get up, get up. He's controlling it. You're absolutely spot on, Eddie.
They're rolling forward. Scott Wheeldon will play the ball to Fisher again. He gives it to Dobson. Up it goes once more. Ainscough is being peppered. Ainscough's claimed it.
Superb take. Wonderful effort there.
Here's James Evans, but suddenly Hull K.R. have got a new lease of life.
And it all came about by that 40-20 by Scott Morrell. Just changed the game. Okay, the three real good opportunities where Castleford, in a threatening position, came up with knock-ons.
Wait, go.
McGoldrick again. Solid defence from Jason Netherton. Sherwin with the kick. It's not clever. It is not clever. Out on the full.
Well, you get those days, don't you? Two knock-ons. Not the best kick off the side of the boot. More pressure to be absorbed, and you just get the sense of feeling that the visitors, the Rovers, are now controlling the game.
Wheeldon plays the ball. Fisher showed it to Watts. Took the tackle himself. The second, this set of 6.
Such an impressive player, the man that's got it now, Dobson.
Gets the ball away to Webster. Comes back and gets the return. Shenton gets to him. Tried to pinch the ball one-on-one, I think. Fox at dummy half, the England winger last year in the Four Nations. Newton. Fisher.
Just take it steady, slow it down. Now you can either go early on the kick or do another drive, but maybe a dink into the in-goal area.
It's with Dobson, it's with Newton. Oh, and he got the ball away, and Stuart Jones first to react.
Wasted effort again. Now it's the Rovers that are coming up with the errors. They didn't really have to force that pass, did they? They still had another play the ball in the bag, and Newton just a little bit too much.
Sherwin gets the pass away, but Chris Wellham was there to halt the danger.
Well, it's amazing, isn't it? The Tigers were on fire in the opening 15 minutes.
McGoldrick again, slips the net but can't get the ball away. Sherwin was on his shoulder waiting for the pass, never came.
Good tackle
chase.
A good tackle by Joel Clinton. This is a high one, pressurised as well.
Wainwright drops it.
Knock on, no advantage, head and feed.
Turnover.
Hull K.R. Oh, it was on the knock, was it? Yeah, and turnover.
Fingertips. Turn in. Wait. Go.
Here's Webster again. Plays the ball there to Peter Fox. 4 minutes to half-time. That could be an important change just made by Terry Mattison. This fellow, Mitchell Sargent, just on the field again. Started, withdrawn, had a breather, now he's back out there.
Yeah, he'll add a little bit of speed to defence, and that's beautiful play.
Great kick from Jansen.
Yep, that's all you have to do.
Do you think so? Do you think so? I think Hull K.R. have them on the ropes. I'd have kept the ball in play. Hull K.R. are the ones that look to be full of energy. Their supporters are the ones making the noise. I think Castleford would be delighted here now to walk back and have a 30 seconds rest before they have to play on.
Yeah, but the way that the defence and the Rovers have just upped it over the last 10 minutes is that they just need to ask a few questions of this Castleford side that are a bit jittery for the Tigers, and they know it. They're coming up with errors.
Yes, they'll hunt another mistake here.
Yep.
Hull K.R.
We saw last night Hull versus Harlequins, how Hull just absolutely controlled the game by good kick, good chase. Poor Harlequins played most of the game in their own quarter.
Hudson gets the ball in field to Liam Higgins. Hudson waits at dummy half, and it's with McGoldrick. Another little half break from the Castleford fullback. Sherwin, short ball, now then a chance. It's Snitch, it's Ainsko! Second try for Ainsko if this is given.
He'll go to the screen because it rolled away underneath his body, but I think he's got the impact down. But we'll see it better from the head on, surely.
What a debut this will be if he does get it.
No, he's lost it. Has it? No, he hasn't. Has he
short.
got it? Is he short? And has he got it through?
And then momentum takes him home.
I think he's there. Yep. He's got his hand on it. Control. This will be given, or should be. Short to start with. He has control. And as you say, Eddie, you say momentum. As the ball come away, which side of the whitewash? He dives there, short. And then the body rolls to it as it hit the whitewash first. He's got to see if it's hit the whitewash, it's all right. If it's short here. And then if it rolls and then spits out. And I think by the time it's spat out, it's had a little bit of whitewash on it.
Well, do you need evidence to award it or evidence to deny it? That's the question.
Well, I always like to give it.
Doubt.
I want the benefit of doubt to go to the attacking side, but it's Steve Ganson. Flip a coin.
Yes, Steve Ganson's the video referee tonight, and has Sean Ainscough got his second try of his opening 40 minutes in Castleford Tigers colours. Everyone's holding their breath here, and here comes the decision. It's chalked off.
Well, put a big TS next to Ben K.R, and that's try saved. That's a massive play for him to get back and deny Sean Ainscough there.
He did very well, didn't he? He looked for all the world. He was definitely short. It was...
Well, he was short at first.
Yeah, and then he rolled over. A 50-50 call. I've seen them given.
If he'd have come up with the ball in his hand, I think he would have been given that try.
Yep. But the way that it spat out, obviously convinced Mr. Ganson.
Well, we saw one given last night with a forearm, didn't we? And, and tonight we've seen that one denied.
It's amazing what 24 hours can do.
Completely different, of course, these incidents, we know that. But they're all good talking points.
Wouldn't have a job either, would it?
No work on the floor, Liam. 4.
Joel Clinton.
Move. Hold.
It's a good while since Joel Clinton has played. Space here for Welham. And more space here. Good job that James Evans was there.
He tracked him all the way. He knew that the inside pass was coming to Chris Welham. Will they give it some height? And
Yes,
they have. It's a
Dobson.
beauty.
It is. Well claimed by Wainwright, though.
Surrender. Stand up.
It was right on the try line, the kick from Dobson. Pinpoint.
Well, any youngsters watching this game that want to be a full back, they should be learning quite a lot from tonight. There's only been one incident where the high ball has been a bit of a trouble for either side, but that was wonderful, wasn't it, by Wainwright?
Last minute of the first half, a first half that has turned and twisted.
And wait. Go. Straight out with the knee, Scott.
Higgins. Good defence. Last tackle, great defence from Hull K.R here.
It needed to be as well. As I say, they were very shaky in the opening minutes.
And Brent Sherwin's gone for a 40-20.
It's on the full.
Another one out on the full from Sherwin.
There wasn't much in this, but it was enough. Now then, there's only seconds.
To play the ball, isn't it? Hull K.R thought it was a scrum. They're set up for a scrum.
It is a scrum.
Yeah, all we got to do now.
Not sure, was it on the last or was it on the fourth? I'm not sure.
It must have been early.
Well, if it was on the last tackle, should not that be the turnover? Anyway.
No, I think it was on the fourth, Eddie. But this is feed the scrum and straight up in the air.
And
No, they're
here
going for
is
broke.
Briscoe. Here's Fisher. They must have, well, I know they can see the big screen. Watch, what a pass!
Forward, that'll do it.
Castleford escape. Terry Matheson will be furious as he makes his way down to the dressing rooms for the second home game in a row that we have seen them here. They've built a 10-point advantage in the opening 10 minutes. Wainwright, Ainsco's debut try, Westerman's goal, 10-0. But then, Hull K.R, they got the momentum. And the Morel try from his own 40-20 was improved by Dobson, and then Dobson from nowhere appeared behind the posts and touches down. 12-10 to Rovers at half-time. Well, it's a massive day tomorrow for the Super League because Leeds Rhinos carry the banner into the World Club Challenge. They take on the NRL's best, the Melbourne Storm, and it should be an absolute classic. It's at Elland Road, and we will be there with the Leeds Rhinos and the Melbourne Storm, 6 o'clock, Sky Sports HD1 and Sky Sports 1 as well. 10-12 here at the Jungle. Hull Rovers, having gone 10 points down, have fought their way back into the match. And I must say, the Castleford supporters on three sides of the ground, but the noise is coming from underneath the gantry here, because that's where all the Hull K.R fans are. Listen! And Bangkok Aim, right underneath us here, is leading the clapping and the cheering.
Well, the one positive thing that Terry Madison could look towards is the fact that Ainscow did get over, could have been given that try at a period where the Rovers, in the last 15 minutes of that first half, they really got back into the game, took control, and it was a great move by the coach Justin Morgan to bring off Scott Morrell. He'd done that 40-20, he scored the try, and then it was Ben Fisher, and he really lifted the side.
Great run that from Liam Higgins. Hudson wants to get on with it. It's Rangi Chase.
And they need more of that. He was being pretty quiet as Rangi Chase in the first half. And will Brent Sherwin shake off that mistakes?
This is Hubie. Penalty here. Ball was stolen in the tackle.
Well, I wouldn't bother with the two. I'd get it into the corner. Yeah. Plenty of hands there.
No question.
Wielden is the culprit.
Make sure you come back 10, yeah?
Can he bounce back? Not the best 40 minutes for Sherwin.
Here's Higgins now.
We've been here before where they'll take two to the middle and then they quick swing back very nicely with Sherwin involved. This might be one of those setups.
Sherwin to Mitchell Sargent, a good strong drive underneath the Rovers posts.
I think it is.
Goal line, go.
And Hudson finds Chase. Here is Sherwin. Back it comes to McGoldrick. They go wide and find Ainscow. Stuttering run from Ainscow.
You know, they just didn't execute that play at full speed. They had the space, they had the men in the holes, but they didn't do it with enough timing to put the 4 points on.
Steve Snitch. Ainscow just feeling the ankle as he got up and moved away from that tackle, incidentally. There's Hudson. Now, great ball back on the inside. It's McGoldrick again. And well watched that was there by Ben Fisher. Last tackle here.
Little dab into the in goal.
There it is. Oh, it's off the post and grounded behind their own line by the Rovers defenders. Briscoe was first to react, I think. Fisher was there as well.
Great work there, wasn't it, by Ryan Hudson? He deliberately aimed for the padding around the post, and it nearly came off. Good job that Sean Briscoe was alert.
So goal line dropout here. Dobson.
Not a bad one either.
Up to halfway. Chase underneath it. Mitchell Sargent to run it back.
Well, he made a huge impact. Very rare that you see Sargent start a game, but he was here, there and everywhere in the opening 10 minutes in that first half. And Terry Madison, the coach, will want exactly the same, though. He looks like he's got a bit of a knock on his noggin.
It's Craig Hubie. Liam Higgins was on his shoulder. That's 3 tackles gone. Castleford back where they almost started. Just a few minutes ago, Chase trying to dance his way through. Good, solid Rovers defence again, and it's needed once more here because it's with Hudson. And that's a short ball, and McGoldrick wide. And this time, Sean Ainscow will not be denied. Or will he? It's gone upstairs again.
He went very close to the dead in goal line. Now, Briscoe seemed to be appearing to say he was obstructed. The utilisation of the dummy runner was quite superb here.
Well, because the man receives the ball on the inside, I think that would go against it. If you look at the interpretation and the guidelines of video referees, where the stakes man receives the ball, it's McGoldrick. He's inside of Snitch, isn't he, number 12? So technically, when you do read the guidelines, that would go against Castleford here, and this would be denied.
Chris Wellham has been fooled, hasn't he, by Snitch coming back on the inside, but has he already committed himself early? That's what Steve Ganson has got to decide. If he says that Wellham has moved before the dummy runner came, then this will be given.
And they've checked the grounding, so that seems to indicate that this is going to be given the green light by Steve Ganson, and indeed it is. Ainscough 2 tries on his debut. He has scored tries on each of his debuts. Wigan, Widnes, and now here again for Castleford against Hull Kingston Rovers. He has no first night nerves, this fellow. Sean Ainscough, second try. A controversial one, though.
Yeah, well, Steve Ganson has realised he has known, and maybe that was a touch forward, but either way, Ainscough. You see, Chris Wellham has already made the move before the ball has gone. So Steve Ganson has suggested, and that's forward, isn't it? By about half a yard, but you can't go back to that, can't go to the screen for the forward pass. Ainscough, he won't mind. Try number 2, should have been 3, had one denied. Huh, what a start for his career here.
Westerman with a very important conversion attempt, and the Rovers fans behind him doing their best to put him off. But they've failed. Westerman kicks the 2 points. 16-12, the Tigers back in front, start of the second half.
You know what we have seen? The importance of forcing a goal line dropout. The last 2 that we've seen have both led to tries in the next minute. Hull K.R did it halfway through the first half, and Castleford have just done it again now. Trapping your opponents in goal, applying that pressure, and then converting it into points.
Well, Sean Ainscough is on a hat-trick, and he is no stranger to those, is he? But there is the mistake from the kickoff, which so often happens. Craig Hubie this time just not keeping concentration.
And it wasn't a difficult one at all. You know, the ball has popped up right in front of him. And as you're right, Eddie, I don't normally agree with it all the time, but lack of concentration.
2 hat-tricks for Sean Ainscough. In fact, 2 4-try hauls in his very brief Wigan career. 4 against Barrow in the Cup last year, 4 against Wakefield last year. 8 of his 17 tries in 12 appearances. Castleford will be hoping that Wigan stay healthy and in good shape in terms of form. Oh, they're allowing Anson to run to the line!
He nearly got it over, didn't he?
Castleford have gone asleep.
Oh, that's a knock-on.
He's come up with the knock-on there, Joel Clinton.
Not too happy, Justin Morgan.
A little touch, let's be fair to him, a little touch of ring rustiness here.
Yeah, he just had a little glance at the likes of Mr. Sargent.
Well, they were right in his face, weren't they? But look at how close he was. Shazai Hansen, they almost opened the door and said, well, in you go, red carpet.
Well, it certainly fitted him well into that standoff position, and I thought it might be a problem for him, but Shazai Hansen has really impressed me.
He's not played until tonight. Looked really good at the back end of 2009. Loose forward, you might remember in the playoff game at Leeds for Rovers last year when they went and claimed a place from 4th in the end of season playoffs. Castleford did the same. In 2008 they finished bottom. 2009 they were 7th. Fantastic effort. Oops. And
oh, Dobson did not. He's always okay.
No, he was on the deck and Rangi Chase fell all over him.
That's a nice kick.
It's a great kick. What's the chase like? It's a bit laboured, to be fair. It was all the forwards. Briscoe just lost his footing in the rice pudding. Peter Fox. Well, heavy, isn't it? It's cutting up down that end of the field that Rovers are defending. Fisher not put down correctly. Now he is on the fourth. Dobson. Infield it goes to Watts. Another good offload from the young man. Finds Dobson. That's the last. Sherwin gets off him quickly. Could easily have been penalised then. There's the kick downfield from Janssen.
It's another good one as well.
And McGoldrick has to run this back. Great chase. Wellham was in close attendance with Netherton.
Big crunch tackle as well. They're hunting for the mistake, and you can see, look at the Castleford forwards, including Sherwin as well, the halfback. They really are finding it tough out there.
And because both teams are going from end to end every time they get hold of the ball, you've got to say that the team that's the most disciplined in this second half will go on to win the game. You don't want to defend repeat sets in your own red zone.
It seemed a very peculiar play, the ball, the last one, before that one, by Castleford. The ball seemed to shoot out.
It went all over the place, but I mentioned it earlier that the referees, Stuart Cummins has obviously had a word in their ear, but basically let anything go at the play the ball area.
A bit of a wild fly kick from Rangi Chase, so Ben Fisher has the ball back in good field position for Rovers here. It's with Wellham. Hubie wrestles into the ground. And he was finished off by Jackson as well. Here's Briscoe. He goes to Janssen, wide to Newton. Great run from Newton.
Fend. Oh, he just brushed Rangi Chase away.
Chaz Janssen, Dobson pops it up to Vella. 4 tackles gone for Hull K.R. Fisher once more. Taking it on himself, that's the last. Oh,
He's
play on,
pinched it,
says the referee.
Hubie pinched it. That's a clever play by Hubie, thank you. Just got it in time before another one joined into the tackle. Well, this second half is turning out into a real old-fashioned struggle, isn't it? It's taking its toll out there. It's heavy going on the surface.
Yeah, it's good to soft, the going, isn't it?
Not good for the favourites, as they say.
Little chink over the top. Ainscope just couldn't keep hold of it.
Gone backwards, and that's off. The Rovers player, Cocaine, has knocked the ball into touch. This should be Tigers' head and feet.
No, it's Rovers. The original knock-on, obviously, was from Ainscope.
Yeah. Well, no, I think he knocked it back. That's how it looked to me, but I'm not the man with the whistle. Phil Bentham is. And
Rovers won't be complaining, that's for sure.
No, but I'm just saying, Eddie, a lot of people perhaps will be saying, well, there's the incident where I thought Cocaine knocked it out.
And he did.
You just get the impression, as I mentioned, but it's going to be a talking point, isn't it, over the next few weeks. If the referees are allowing anything to go at the dummy half area, you play the ball area. We've seen it for 2 weeks now. Is it going to stay all this way, all the way through? We'll have to wait and see.
Well, we don't like big penalty counts, do we? We're very critical of that, and last night we had a low penalty count, and tonight we've only had 6, so well done, the refs. Here's McGoldrick. Good ball. He delayed the pass.
Super stuff.
Chase has the ability to get sort of half past a man and then looks for support. Here's Sherwin. Flicks it up to Hubie.
Need a little bit more running as well from Ryan Hudson. He's been quite happy just to farm it out.
He did exactly that then. McGoldrick. Oh, Evans has slipped the net. Ainscope! Hat-trick on his debut! He's not given it again. 3, he says. He's after 4 now.
Well, surely he's got it down. It's
well, maybe he thought he dropped it, the touch judge.
It was a nice step.
A hat-trick of tries or a hat-trick of video decisions?
That's a try.
No problem.
Yeah, no probs whatsoever. Confirmation.
A hat-trick of tries and a hat-trick of nods from the video referee, Steve Ganson. Try to Ainscow.
And it was well worked down the short side. It had to be scored as well. I don't think he would have been able to squeeze in at the corner. The cover defence was sliding in, and he just stepped majestically off the right foot.
What a good bit of business it might be by Castleford to get this young man here.
Well, excellent work by Terry Matheson and the club, and excellent work by the Castleford team here. Shifting the ball wide, eventually. It's pretty hard when you're under pressure with defenders coming at you, and it's a quality finish from an instinctive winger who knows when to stop, step back on the inside, and turn it to his advantage. A good grounding here. He receives the ball from Evans and just about gets the ball down in time. And I'll tell you what, if you play on the wing for one of Terry Matheson's sides, you know that you're going to get the ball in good situations. Wainwright scored one try, Ainscow has the other three. The wingers for the Tigers certainly get some involvement.
Well, his reputation has been done no harm at all in this opening match for the Castleford Tigers here.
Well, when you talk about overseas players, as you were last night, and commenting on how well Harlequins have done, don't forget, in some games, Wigan have had 5 of the 7 backs have been overseas players. One of the reasons why Ainscow's not able to get a game.
Westerman to try and add the extras. Fails on this occasion. 20 points to 12, though. They're building that lead back up, but can they hold on to it this time? There's plenty of time for Rovers.
Yeah, that's going to be, is it going to be deja vu? But he'll be happy with it. I'm not so sure that Justin Morgan will be happy with the fact that Cocaine came out of the line and said, there he is, he was in no man's land.
Well, I suppose to be fair to Ben Cocaine, he's not a winger, is he?
No, he took
a specialist winger.
No, but he took the gamble and it showed there. You only need one error in this game and you can be, shall we say, taken off.
2, move, hold, go. Third.
Castleford with an 8-point advantage, but plenty of time for Rovers. Ooh, and that was a very dangerous pass.
4.
He did well to hang on to that chase.
Go.
Yeah, and they've got a convincing lead now.
This fella, you know, is all over the show, Ryan McGoldrick, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a great player.
5.
And they always look dangerous every time he's got the ball. He needs support around, even getting the quick play the ball there for Sherwin to kick. And
Haynes
again,
goes
the
after
pressure.
a fall. Cocaine gets to it. He's in a bit of bother here. He does well.
Great kick and chase. Just going to make the point that, you know, in that first half when the Tigers ran to a 10-0 lead, they wanted to score off every play. Now this is a time where they just keep their defence solid, get a good kick and chase, which we just witnessed.
4 great tackles in defence from Castleford, deep in their opponent's territory. Janssen. That's the last. 20 metres gained and 5 tackles. The kick has to be good here, and it is from Dobson. Buys them some land. And the chase from them, they've come up as it... Ooh, nearly, Ryan McGoldrick nearly fumbled that. Good chase that from Hull K.R.
Hold first. Go.
Shenton.
2. Move.
Yes, we're going to work hard as a team now, take a little bit of responsibility on your shoulders.
Okay, Jack.
That's great
Chase.
work. That's good stuff by Rangi Chase.
Go.
Almost a penalty conceded by Jake Webster.
4. Move.
And again, the official allowing them to just get on with it. It's certainly more exciting for the crowd, in my opinion.
Jackson goes down on the last.
Move. Hold.
1 point perhaps, or is it too early?
Rangi Chase trying to slide that in, and Webster has it back.
A little bit too nonchalant there by the standoff chase. Rovers will try and get the ball away from their own line again, this set of 6. Good run. Well, in a good position now. This is where the likes of Dobson, he's gone out second receiver. Now they're going to do the blind with the kick. There he is.
He was outside the 40-metre mark. That's a terrific kick.
Yeah. Play for option. His coach, Justin Morgan, is well aware that Castleford, remember at this particular time in the first half, was when the Tigers were coming out with the errors. So get it in the corner, force those out, and you could put yourself in a good position. He's such a talent, this fella.
Well, it just gets them away from their own line. They've been defending their own line for about the last 5 minutes, and now they're up the other end, and they'll hunt this mistake that Castleford were prone to first half.
But what it also gives them, Eddie, is time to get up there, walk up there. Don't make any rush decisions to go to come up with any big plays. What they've got to do is, so a lot of them going together, talking about how they need to control the speed of Castleford, because that's what took Castleford back into the game.
2, move! Wait, go. Third.
Rovers really are hunting the mistake here. Nearly forced it a couple of times. Here's McGoldrick again. He hits and spins so well, doesn't he?
Well, there's a talent moving pictures, that's for sure. He knows when to come in and take a little bit of responsibility off the forwards as well. That's a good tackle by Wellham.
It was, and it was a pretty good take by Stuart Jones as well. It was round his neck, which is where he dropped one in the first half. Crossfield kick from Sherwin. Great chase. Great work, though, by Briscoe.
Well, the Hull K.R. fans felt that the tackle had been completed, but I'm not so sure it had. It's going to be a devil of a job now for the Rovers to get out of this. The Tigers' defence is so tight at the moment. Got to be careful not to give away a penalty.
They're asking for a knock-on.
And they've got it.
Webster is furious. He doesn't want to say too much, otherwise he might.
Okay, Jake.
Yep, just lost it.
He might give away a penalty.
Well, Jackson lifted the leg, and well, I don't think Joe Westerman actually got a fingertip to it. He just nudged the ball-carrying arm, which is allowed.
I think it happens a lot. If you put 3 aggressive men into a tackle like that, so often the ball will be dislodged. The man is disorientated, and Castleford in a brilliant situation from a scrum.
Rangi Chase, still Rangi Chase, still Rangi Chase. And there's something been spotted by the touch judge.
Walk away, fellas.
Well, Rangi
Second back for us, Nick.
has decided to get out of the melee. Oh, yeah, that was a
grapple tackle.
Yeah, grapple tackle, grapple tackle.
Yeah, keep it down.
Tackle that hurts. I'd tap this. I wouldn't bother with a 2. It's an acute angle. You can go back, of course, and that's what they've done.
Steve Snitch for Castleford. Another set of 6 coming at this defensive line of Rovers.
The utilisation of the dummy runner, remember, was so effective with Ainsco's last. And will they do it again? Rangi Chase will be the provider.
There he is, Chase. Short ball. Solid defence, led by Newton and Webster on Joe Westerman. That ball's gone backwards, it's play on. Hudson loops the pass back to Steve Snitch. He goes back where all the trouble is, and he gets to within about 1.5 meters of the line. Hudson again. Oh, that was a poor ball. McGoldrick, they've lost a bit of momentum here, Castleford. McGoldrick had to chase that down.
Sherwin's screaming for it now.
Hubie, up it goes, under pressure he was from Netherton. They'll claim Peter Fox, away from Rangi Chase. Good run from Peter Fox.
That lifts any side spirits. That could have been a penalty, and should have been a penalty.
And that should be. They're all over the place, the defensive line.
But as I say, Eddie, anything goes.
We've got it now.
And goal.
Public opinion, I think, swayed him. Public opinion from East Yorkshire.
A bit of a grapple tackle as well, as far as I'm concerned, from Stuart Jones. Well, he's kept it flowing. Good for you viewers out there.
Vella solidly put to ground.
They kept a good lookout for Vella. He normally has quite a few offloads throughout the course of an 80-minute game. But they've been very quick to get to him early. Smothered him, no chance.
Go. Liam, come on.
Fisher, busy. Gives it to Wellham. It was a good ball and it was a good tackle needed.
Go.
Dobson, Vela. Hull K.R haven't turned this in yet. They have not turned this in. Why should they? They're only 8 points adrift.
Oh, plenty of time left.
Here's Dobson. They go wide over the top. They find Peter Fox. Away from one.
5.
Couldn't get away from Michael Wainwright. Webster, Dobson. Up it goes off the boot. Crossfield kick. Easy for Ainscough. He hasn't, and I'm not going to hex him, I hope. He hasn't dropped one yet tonight.
Middle.
I thought you could put the marker right on him. He was away.
Well, do you know what? Even if he does, I mean, the amount of kicks he's taken.
Go.
Sean Briscoe dropped one in the first half, and he was the England fullback last year. So every backfield player will drop the ball throughout the course of the season. Brent Webb, Billy Slater even drops it sometimes.
Tomorrow night, we hope.
Third.
I'm sure they're probably listening as well. They'll be well pleased with comments like that, won't they?
I'm going to say I thought we were impartial.
We are.
Of course we are, as long as we win.
4.
Should be a great game, don't miss it though.
Yeah, it
I'm
should.
looking forward to it. To become champions of the world. What a game. What an opportunity for all those players.
5. Move.
Last tackle here for Castleford. Sherwin with the kick. Up into the night air. It's a great kick again. Oops. Got away with it. Oh, here's Dobson on the charge. Dobson outstripping the defence. Has he got support? He has from Fox. Couldn't get the ball away to him.
Good play by Rangi Chase, but he had a second bite.
Briscoe.
Well, he just didn't have the legs, Michael Dobson.
Fisher. Glorious opportunity this for Hull K.R. It's with Liam Watts.
2. Move.
Fisher again. Dobson. Short ball on the burst is Clint Newton. From defence to attack, Hull K.R. in the blink of an eye. Here's Vela. Vela is halted and down he goes on tackle number 4. But he's 2 metres away from the try line, that's all. Fisher gives it to Liam Watts.
5. Move.
That is great.
Castleford's defence stands
superb
firm.
stuff.
Can they stand firm for another tackle?
Grubber from Dobson, surely.
It's with Dobson. There it is to the in-goal area. Won! And anyway, Cocaine touches down.
This will be given. This will be given. I don't think he'll go upstairs for it, will he?
I think he's gone. I think he's gone upstairs. Steve Ganson, yet another decision.
What a great player this fella is. Michael Dobson. And again, like it showed in the first half, not the best positioning there for the cover kick. They knew it was the last. And Ainscough, well, just like one of my golf shots, not the best. Should have put his body on the line there.
No knock on either from Wellham.
I don't think he touches. I don't think Wellham touches it.
So it might go to Cocaine, this.
Oh, it'll be a try, as far as I'm concerned. Steve Ganson will be happy with this. TRI.
Look at the grin on the face of Ben Cocaine, because it's a try. First try of the year, and how vital, how important might that one be in the context of this match?
Well, they were having a devil of a job trying to get through the pretty solid Tigers defence, but you've got to give them credit to say, well, we'll go on the last option, which was the grubber kick. And it was well placed by Michael Dobson. Sean Ainscough, the hero of the moment until this, when it goes for the air shot. Dobson makes the break. Thank you very much indeed. No one at home. Great chase by Rangi. Chase himself gets at it a second time. And it then brought them to a position where Michael Dobson, the man who's about to convert, or willing. Pressure.
He's the man for the big kicks. 28 it's a thriller at the Jungle again.
Here's a kicking goal. Difficult bouncing ball, full speed. We've slowed it down. Cocaine grounds it. And you wonder here now about the belief of the Castleford side. They've lost so many games at home by a narrow margin. That minute that you have to stand behind your post as they swing again and miss. You stand behind your post while Dobson lands up the goal kick. And whether any part of those negative self-doubt creeps into the subconscious.
But they have conceded the ball back. No, they haven't. Hull K.R. have got it back now. Oh, don't take your eye off this for a minute. Liam Watts. Well, that's off the foot of Janssen. And it was then just pinched off James Evans.
Well, Evans thought it saved the day. They were so happy. And as you say, it was pinched. Oh, what a climax this is going to be.
Vella is leading the run for this. Ainscough allows it to bounce. Sees Vella's with him. Oh, that's not bad. That's tremendous. Still going, Ainscough. And still. Well, he's lit the whole place up tonight, hasn't he?
Has he ever? I don't know what size batteries he's got inside the body, but I want to get some. He's been outstanding.
Nervous times for Terry Mattis and his team, clinging now onto a 2-point lead as Jones takes it forward on tackle number 4. Tell you what, when we come down to the Jungle, we rarely get disappointed. It's a great atmosphere.
Oh, it's always good. I love it down here. Mind you, I love it going any club.
That's a lovely little kick through by Sherwin. Ooh, and he had to be brave then to put his hand and his face down where the boots might have been flying. He was Peter Fox. Here come Rovers again.
Eddie, Terry Matson's going to be really nervous now going into the last 13 minutes because a lot of his big fellas in the middle of the park, because they've been tested and challenged so much defensively, when they've got the ball, they're really struggling to get behind the ball and bring it forward.
Well, it's all about energy levels and composure. Even though they're allowing a lot of latitude at the play the ball area, you've got to be careful. When will Mr. Bentham say enough's enough? That's a good kick.
Scott Morrell again. Taken in by McGoldrick. Decent chase.
And Steve-O, to keep your energy levels up, you've got to make sure you control the ball, because as you come towards the end of the game, defence really takes it out of you when you've got to get up and down off the ground and back that 10 yards.
Well, the Romans fans underneath us, they were claiming that he moved off the mark to play the ball, not in the position where he was actually tackled.
James Evans.
It's a thriller, Eddie.
It's a great contest, and we're entering the last 11 minutes, and the match is in the balance. Rangi Chase back out the door to Sherwin, a looping pass that found Shenton. Here is Westerman. He then gives it. Is that Mitchell Sargent back out there? It is.
I think the prop forward was having a bit of a rest out there. He found himself with the ball in his hands. Got to be a good kick.
Sherwin. Play on, play on. Evans, Ainscough. Not 4. Crossfield looking for Ryan Hudson, is he? Webster, again they do well. That must be about the 4th time that they've got the ball out of their own in-goal area, and they've managed to avoid the goal line dropout, Rovers.
But what a great kick from Sean Ainscough.
Penalty, offside. I think they were offside about 10 minutes ago.
Well, his patience has been tested. And didn't they do well on that occasion? They were put under the rack, and they were being stretched all over the joint, and just lack of coordination amongst the defensive ranks, not talking to each other. That's a tremendous kick downfield. Hold on to your seats.
Rufus the Robin. He's urging them forward. Lovegrove, down he goes.
unusual name for a Robin, somewhat.
Rufus. It is a bit, I suppose. I was just wondering what you might call the Robin.
Bob.
Netherton. Bob Robin. Okay, yeah, right.
Well, they go bobbing along, don't they?
Clinton.
Great defence. You've got to have nerves of steel when the pressure's on like this.
Morrell gives it to Dobson, stabs the kick behind the defence. Goal line dropout. More pressure on the Castleford Tigers.
He wasn't going to take a risk this time, was he? Inscoe says, hey, let's get out of here. The pressure applied by this man, Michael Dobson. He's had a fine second half. They shut him down well, did the Tigers, in the first 40. But in this second stanza, he has certainly shown.
So Westerman just takes in a little bit of oxygen. Stuart Jones is needing treatment, and he makes his way back to his own goal line.
Psychologically, the Tigers cannot just shut up shop and say, let's hang on to this 2 points. There's far too much time left.
Briscoe was underneath the kick. Here comes Joel Clinton. Good run from the big prop forward. Morrell waits.
He'll be a fine addition, won't he, throughout the season?
Lovegrove.
Joel Clinton.
Yes, he will. Lovegrove. He's gone round 360 degrees. Whoops, here we go. Didn't like that. Pushing and shoving with Ryan Hudson. Watts again.
Bravery there by Stuart Jones, went right round the ankle. Oh,
Janssen.
They didn't move up. They hung back there. Janssen looked as though he was finding the gap.
Plays the ball to Morrell. Here is Dobson. Back it comes to Briscoe. Briscoe backs himself. That's the last. They look for a repeat set here, Hull K.R.
Dobson
At
again.
least. The kick stabbed in. Oh, ricocheted. It's a try for Liam Watts. Steve Gansel, it's all yours. Another decision for the video referee. I didn't see much wrong with it. It ricocheted and it bounced back. And Liam Watts was the first man to react.
And it's Dobson's kick yet again. It just bounces all over, comes off the shin. I can't quite see who it came off. Oh, and he scoops it. Oh! This is going to be interesting. This is split second. Good stuff there.
Well, they're
That's
all
play
right.
on. That's play on. And then he gets it. And then he loses it. And does it hit the... Oh, I don't know.
I think this could be given, don't you?
Well,
I think he got his hand to it before it hit the deck.
Well,
I
from
really do.
one angle, yes. From this angle, let's see. He loses it. He loses it. Has he got control? I think he has.
I wouldn't give it. I wouldn't give it. I think the odds on him hitting the ball simultaneously as it hits the ground are too slim, Eddie.
Well, we'll soon find out with Mr. Ganson.
Steve Ganson has the destiny of the points in his hands. The try is given to Liam Watts. Hull Kingston Rovers have come back from the dead again.
What an amazing game.
First try ever in Super League for 19-year-old Liam Watts. Remember that name, because this fella's got a heck of a future.
Certainly is, and you've just got to get the rub of the green sometimes. Bouncing around, and he had the wherewithal to think so quickly. He must have been thinking, I've lost control, but I've got that in time.
Well, look at the pace on him when he grounds the ball.
He knows he's lost it, and he just gets a left hand down. And it's in the hands of modern Mr. Steve Ganson.
That was when the try was given on the big screen, and a couple of seconds ago, the try is improved, and it's 24-20. And Hull K.R. have done it again.
Eddie, you can trace that back to the penalty that Castleford gave down in Hull K.R's territory. Again, they got up there, they got a repeat set of 6, and then they come up with that try.
It's not over yet. Castleford have come up with it.
They have.
Was it a knock-on? The Rovers fans say it was. It was great work there by Craig Hubie. It's not over yet.
6 minutes to go. 4 points the difference now in Hull K.R's favour. What a great game. What a super contest from the Engage Super League. Nothing better than this. Sargent. Good ball. It's Steve Snitch. Hudson, Sherwin, McGoldrick, Evans for Castleford! Just held up short. What a tackle there from Ben Cockayne.
Should he have passed? That's a big question. They've got the overlap.
QB at the middle, and it's the turnover.
They went for the power play. I think that James Evans had the chance to pass out wide to Ainscough. He took the gamble and went on his own. It was Hubie that got the ball from the kickoff.
What a tackle from Ben Cockayne, though, to stop James Evans.
Unbelievable. But should he have looked? Should he have passed?
Remember, whoever loses tonight, it'll be 3 consecutive defeats. Whoa! Higgins with a swinging arm.
A swinging arm and we've got a touchdown. Liam Higgins has just completely lost the plot. I don't think that he made any contact. He went for the first one, went for the second one, said, I'll get you, will I?
Yeah, we'll sort it out, won't we?
Liam Higgins, once upon a time, wore the black and white of Hull FC.
Something must have happened, though, before that, in the initial part of the contact.
There was, Phil, something happened where he bounced Liam Higgins off, and then Liam Higgins just took exception to it. He's looked at the referee's done nothing, and then he's gone in for that shot.
Okay, listen to the quarter. You're pulling the swinging arm, okay? It's a penalty to them.
Penalty to Hull K.R, which just relieves the pressure a bit. Oh, well, they're saying that Lovegrove, I think, has led with the forearm.
That's where it was there.
That's where they had the swinging
You can
arm.
see he turns around now, he looks at the referee. The referee does nothing,
so he
goes in for the shot.
Yeah. But it could be very costly indeed.
Clinton goes down. Well, Castleford will get another chance, providing they don't allow Hull Kingston Rovers to score in this set of 6. Morrell to Dobson. There's the try scorer, maybe the match winner, Liam Watts. Morrell again. Briscoe.
Just field position now, Rovers, that's all they need. Drive it through, nothing fancy.
Janssen will hoist a high kick.
They've gone early, that surprised me.
Well, look where they are now, 3.5
Now this is the
minutes to
chance,
go.
Evans there. Could he have passed? No, perhaps Ainscough had just overrun him.
They
But
need
Cockayne was a beautiful tackle, as Eddie mentioned earlier.
It was, and they need a 3/4 of the length of the field trying.
No, I think they need a 40-20 if they can set to it. It's very hard here in this situation, but on the next play, you won't score a long-range try, and it's very difficult, I think, with the conditions like this. The 40-20 is what they had to go up for.
Well, it's with Hudson, and now Chase, and that went to nobody in particular, but it found its way to Shenton. Last tackle here for Castleford. It's got to be a hump and hope, surely.
Just stand up, Michael.
Ball back on the inside. No, this is Rangi Chase. Good defence.
He got it away.
He did. The last tackle, though. He's furious, Terry Mattison.
Yeah, he wanted the high kick. He won the speculative kick right up.
They'll still maybe get another chance. Maybe Castleford.
Well,
Briscoe.
There's a lot of smart players out there, and one Australian, Michael Dobson, who's had a fantastic second half. He's been the architect of this fight back by Hull K.R, and he will make sure they'll drive in, and he'll make sure that it's a good kick downfield too.
Here's Ben Cockayne, whose tackle just might have arrested this little slump for Rovers. Morel, great run from Morel! Haul to the ground.
Look at Dobson, marshalling the troops. Get out, I'm it, give it to me.
1 pointer, I wonder if he'll go for a drop goal here. No, he's sliding it in behind them. Oh, not the best. Ryan McGoldrick.
It's been a masterclass from that fella in the second half.
Ainscough.
Especially late on it as well.
Right, this is the last throw of the dice for Castleford.
Hold. Go on the mark, that's it.
Got to make sure the discipline's good from Rovers. That's what Justin Morgan, the coach, he'll get the message out. Nothing silly, boys. Keep cool, keep calm.
What a battle royal this has been tonight. What a great game. Not if you're a Castleford fan, of course, at this moment in time, but just a minute. Just a minute. It's with Evans. Watts is bounced off. Evans still. Here now is Snitch. Last minute, 2 tackles remaining for Castleford here.
Chip over the top, perhaps.
Rangi Chase. Still Rangi Chase, tiring defenders all over the shop. Westerman. They're keeping it alive. They have to knock on.
By Sargent.
Game over.
Sargent, just a little one, and Terry Magnuson knows it. The expression on the face of the workhorse prop forward, Mitchell Sargent, tells its own story. It was a little one, and that is sufficient. You can't blame the Tigers. They wanted to keep it away, keep it alive. It looked as though they were in with a chance. Rangi Chase, bobbing and weaving, sidestepping. But it's a red and white, they'll be bobbing and weaving. He knows it too, Justin Morgan.
What a game we've had, though, and, you know, Castleford just don't seem to be able to win on their own ground. Last season's sequence of home defeats included nail-biting contests, 12-8 to Harlequins, 26-24 to Huddersfield, 24-22 to Leeds, 2 points against Catalan, 3 points against Wigan, and the hoodoo has struck again. They've lost another closely fought contest, but listen to the Rovers fans. Dobson, the architect, Watts, the try scorer. Hawkinston Rovers, the victory. Castleford have played their full part again in a magnificent match, but they cannot win at home. Ainscough, a hat-trick on his debut, and he still ends up on the losing side. What a cruel game this is.
An amazing game in as much that the first half, the first 20 minutes, Castleford raced to a 10-0 lead.